So with your swing, when you go up without much turn, the shaft's gonna come down steep, right? When it comes down steep, you make this little hang back move to offset the fact that you're trying to tilt back, which allows, I mean, if I get in here, let me borrow this. If I'm coming down steep and I tilt back, it gets the shaft behind my hands, right? So there's your compensation for that movement. Now, this offsets everything and allows me to stay on top of the golf ball, but I get narrow, get my elbow in tight, and have to throw everything through. So, if you wanted to avoid doing that, the answer is to get the club a little bit deeper, have it shallowing more on the downswing. Do you know what deeper means?
No.
Okay, set up for me, I'll show you. When you go back, I measure depth on this heel line here, right?
Okay.
So the more it's back here, the more depth you have. The more it's here, less depth you have. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, the more depth you have, let me borrow this club. Let's do a little physics experiment here. If I take a shaft and I push my hands towards the camera, where's this shaft gonna fall?
Back.
It's gonna fall behind me. If I'm here, I push my hand straight down, it's gonna steepen, correct? So if you get in a position where you have more depth, your hands need to work more out to get back to the golf ball, correct?
Yeah.
So the shaft naturally wants to fall behind you and you don't have to put that tilt back on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The reason you don't get as much depth as I would prefer out of a player is because those hips are just locked in place in your backswing. They barely move.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The more my hip turns, the more my chest turns. So if I just get here and I turn my chest like this, that's not a lot of turn, right?
Right.
But if I unlock that hip, now I've turned back 90 plus degrees.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and grab this club. I'm going to show you what that hip turn feels like and you can decide what you want to do. Go ahead and set up. Okay. We're not going to hit the ball, but you can set up to it. So I'm going to take you back and I'm going to unlock this hip. I want you to feel like this leg's going to straighten a little bit in your backswing. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. See where your hands are now? They're way back here on your heel line, correct?
Yeah.
Now from here, when your hands work out to the golf ball, see how the shaft just wants to fall behind you?
Yeah.
Okay? So that's just physics working for you.
Do you have a feel of how to make sure I get back there?
I mean, a lot of players just think that their knee, to get their hip turning, that their knee is just going to extend in the backswing.
So go from bend to extend.
Yes. Yeah, and you can extend a good bit. You just want to make sure that knee doesn't lock out.
Okay.
Okay? Once it locks out, you put yourself in a tough spot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So keep it just short of locking and extend it. Let me see you hit one. Try that.
Okay.
Go up to the top and freeze. Just stop at the top. Good. Now turn and hit it. Go there. It's pretty good. You got a draw pattern in there real quick. It overdrew. That's all right. Do it again.
Can I do it without freezing?
Yeah. You didn't freeze on that one. You went right through it. There you go. Is that different than your normal ball flight? Significantly different?
Yeah, kind of the 7-iron kind of straight to maybe a little baby fade.
Okay. So, I mean, you can take that information either way you want. If you want to, if you find yourself needing to hit a draw, you can think of getting more turn in your backswing.
Okay.
If you wanted to hit a fade, you could turn less.
Am I foregoing power by not turning as much?
Yes.
Yeah, have to be, right?
Yes, you're not using the ground as much when you're sitting here going up. And plus, this movement is a saving movement. It takes away any ability to create a massive amount of ground reaction forces for most players. There are outliers, but for most players it would.
I mean, I'm pretty long.
Yeah, there are
Despite that move, I guess.
Sure, there are players who are. Look, Justin Thomas crushes a golf ball doing it. So I mean,
but I'd be longer if I didn't do it.
Could be. No promises.
Yeah, of course. But more consistent shots.
It would be a lot less timing at impact. Yeah. Okay. So with that drill, the purpose is we've got you in a place of depth and the shaft is shallowing well, right? That drill is meant to eliminate this from happening too early, right? We want that leg pushing, but through the strike, correct? Not immediately in transition like you were doing, okay? Now, the other important thing for you is you have to realize when you're doing this, there was a lot of added loft through impact, okay? Now, when you get here and you start staying down on it, you should work more into forward bend, and hopefully that'll get you to stay more on top of the golf ball naturally.
Okay.
It may or may not, okay? There are players where you change the root cause of an issue, and they still don't change and start making the pattern work where you want. So the next feel for you, if you start doing that, is go ahead and set up. No ball. Okay? When you go up for me. Feel your chest slowly come down, keep that knee down. See how your chest covers that golf ball now?
Yeah.
The goal from here is to get that lead shoulder moving up and around. See what that does to your hands?
De-loss the club.
De-loss the club, it's pulling the hands near the lead shoe.
Yeah.
Okay? When you can get the hands near the lead shoe, you're gonna start returning with a lot less lofted impact, and you should start seeing that more penetrating low golf ball, right? If it doesn't happen, you can throw an alignment stick through the grip, put it on the lead side, and just hit bunts, where you really start to feel that rotation out of your chest and build that into your game. When I look at your downswing, you get everything in a position where everything's still a little laid off, right? But then when you come down, your chest doesn't move. And also when you're doing it, your body's standing straight up, right? You stay up here and just bring your hands down and try and swat through the golf ball. There's no usage of your body at all to hit a golf ball. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's all arms. So I think that gets thrown off. Most players who go back like you do and stand up, and you're a decent player, you shoot in the 80s. Most people who stand up like you do immediately transition back in this tilt and have the club go this way, right? You stay up there and just swat at it. So I think the first key for you getting better is to change some tilts in your backswing and then change some tilts moving back into the golf ball, right? So I would try and get you in a position, you know, where you're a little bit, I talked to you about getting more rounded and down the golf ball, where you're a little bit more rounded here, and the feeling in the backswing is going to be that when your shoulders go back, your trail shoulder is going to be much higher than your lead shoulder. So you can crunch here at the top of your rib cage and feel like you're getting this crunch in your shoulders back down to the golf ball, right? So boom, crunch it, and that's going to put you in a position where you start having inclination, right? You have that tilt. So come in here. Let's see that feel. Okay. Set up for me. Start it back. Good. Keep looking down to where the golf ball would be. So you see how you have that tilt now? Mm-hmm. Now, earlier, you were really laid off in that video, right? Since I changed your tilts, the club is now more vertical. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So from here, I would want you to feel, just a simple feel, that when you start working down, start coming down the golf ball, see how your butt naturally stays back now? Mm-hmm. Okay? That you work into a little bit more of this forward bend. So you see how you're close to the golf ball? Mm-hmm. Okay? And then work through impact by pushing that lead side up and around. So you see how that shoulder's gone back? Yeah. That right shoulder's now down to the golf ball? Yeah. That's more athletic. So go up top with that tilt. There you go. Try and make that move where you keep the butt back against the wall. And fire through. No. Yeah, do it again. That looks much more like a golf swing than the all arms move you were making just a few minutes ago. You know what I mean? Yeah. Try and make that movement with a golf ball there. You can go up top and freeze. So stop at the top of your backswing. There you go. Now work your way back down the golf ball like that. Good. Do it again. I'll actually take some chunks for right now, to be honest with you. Good. Oh, wow. It's a laser. Now, I want you to feel when you're coming down, you are going to add forward bend here and bring your pelvis more back into a wall, okay? Now, from there, that's going to put you in a position where you can keep rotating and get this lead shoulder up, right? So we were talking, the way to avoid that chunk from there is to get the handle moving up and through, right? Okay, yeah. Your shoulder is going to control that upward movement by moving up and back. That's going to pull the arm. That's going to put you in the position where you get rid of those chunks, right? If you just stay down on it, then you're going to jam the club way behind the golf ball. Get the chest up and down. Feel like you're pushing out of this lead leg to create that lift, and you'll be in a good position every time.
Okay.
Hey guys, if you like this video, please like and comment. I come out with new content every Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Thanks a lot, you guys.